What's good, hoop heads? Your courtside analyst Tips and Streams is back in the game. On the slate today, breakdowns for the latest NBA matchups set to light up the hardwood. Before we tip off, make sure you slam that subscribe button on our YouTube channel to stay in the loop with all our predictions and top picks. So, let's get started. The first today's prediction is for the matchup between Orlando Magic and Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, reigning as juggernauts in the Eastern Conference, are dazzling the courts with their ironclad defense and electrifying offense. Riding high with one of the league's top net ratings, they owe their prowess to stars like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are relentless in lighting up the scoreboard. Their latest showdown with the Orlando Magic was a masterclass in domination, particularly in the game's crunch time. In that nail-biter against Orlando, the Celtics flexed their deep bench and adaptability, transforming a solid halftime lead into an insurmountable edge, with players like Peyton Pritchard stepping up big in the absence of key playmakers. Meanwhile, the Orlando Magic are carving a path of impressive growth and grit. Last season, they notched a commendable record against the Celtics, proving they can go toe-to-toe with the elite. This season, they're riding that wave, displaying a ferocity that's racked up notable wins even against reigning champs and high-octane squads. Their current record marks their best season kickoff in over a decade, a testament to their form and burgeoning potential. Historically, Orlando has often outplayed Boston, especially on their home turf. This stat could be a game-changer in today's clash, where home court advantage often tips the scales. The Magic's knack for outscoring the Celtics, coupled with their stepped-up game, might turn the tables in today's face-off. Yet, we can't overlook the physical grind of recent matches. The Magic, off the back of a grueling series, including a triumph over a top-tier contender, may struggle to keep their energy and consistency. The Celtics, on the other hand, have shown resilience and versatility, even when their main guys are benched, highlighting their roster's depth. Weighing recent showdowns, historical head-to-heads, and current form, the scales tip slightly towards the Celtics clinching this one. Their balanced attack-defense game and roster depth give them an edge over the Magic. But, with the Magic's current momentum and home court history, expect them to battle fiercely, making this a thriller for hoops fans. To wrap it up, while the Celtics might be the favorites, the Magic's tenacity and recent stride suggest they won't roll over easily. My bet is on the Magic to beat the odds. I'm backing Orlando Magic with a 9-point cushion. The next prediction is for the match between New Orleans Pelicans and San Antonio Spurs. The New Orleans Pelicans are tearing up the court with an impressive 15-11 record, dunking victories against squads like the Timberwolves, Wizards, and Hornets. They're lighting up the scoreboard with an average of 114.8 points per game and showing some serious skills with a 47.7% shooting accuracy. The trio of Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and C.J. McCollum are making major plays, leading the team's charge. From downtown, the Pelicans are nailing it with a 35.6% three-point shooting rate, and they're clutch at the charity stripe, hitting 76.7% of their free throws. On defense, they're forcing the opposition into an average of 14.4 turnovers per game and dominating the glass with an average of 44.4 rebounds. The San Antonio Spurs, however, are struggling this season with a .420 record. Their recent upset over the Lakers, breaking a long 18-game skid, was a rare moment of glory. The Spurs are averaging 110.6 points per game, but lag slightly behind the Pelicans with a 49% field goal rate. Players like Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Victor Wembanyama are showing some spark. The Spurs need to up their game in three-point shooting and tighten their defense, which has been letting opponents score easy threes. The Pelicans have the upper hand, winning their last 3 matches and excelling on both ends of the court. Their sharp shooting and rebounding prowess give them the edge over the Spurs. Despite their recent victory, the Spurs have been consistently underperforming, especially in their defensive game. In their direct matchups, the Pelicans have the Spurs beat, with 3 straight wins in San Antonio. The Pelicans' high-scoring game and recent form make them the favorites in this clash. The Spurs, though the underdogs, might surprise us, especially after their boost against the Lakers and the advantage of playing at home. Wrapping it up, the Pelicans are likely to snag the win, considering their recent form, team stats, and head-to-head history. The Spurs might bring their A-game thanks to their home court edge, but the Pelicans' current momentum and overall team strength point to their victory. So, I'm placing my bets on the New Orleans Pelicans, giving them a 7-point advantage. The next prediction is for the match between Houston Rockets and Milwaukee Bucks. The Houston Rockets are tearing up the court with a sizzling 5-game hot streak. They just pulled off a stunning turnaround against the Grizzlies, really showing off their grit and clutch performance. Players like Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet have been pivotal in this run, playing some top-tier ball. The Rockets' defense is seriously on point, snagging the number 2 spot for opponent-effective field goal percentage and dominating in shutting down rivals' three-point plays. This defensive game is key when going up against the Bucks' high-octane offense. Flipping to the Milwaukee Bucks, they're owning the hardwood in their home court, boasting a mighty 13-2 record at Fiserv Forum. Heading into this matchup with a 3-game win streak, they've got some real rhythm going. Led by powerhouses like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard, their roster shines in scoring and bouncing back. But playing back-to-back games could put a dent in their energy and gameplay. Injury-wise, it's a bit of a scramble for both squads. Houston's missing Victor Oladipo due to a knee issue, and Amen Thompson and Jae'Sean Tate are on the maybe list due to sickness. Over at the Bucks camp, Chris Middleton, Jay Crowder, and Malik Beasley are sitting out. These absences could really switch up the game's flow. Stat Talk, the Rockets are nailing a 73.3% against the spread win rate, outdoing the Bucks 44.0%. They've been solid underdogs, especially with spreads of 7.5 or more. The Bucks, on the flip side, don't cover as often when they're big-time favorites. As for total points, Milwaukee often goes over more than Houston. Head-to-head and Milwaukee's recent home court performance will weigh heavy on this game's result. The Bucks, with their strong home game and court advantage, look set up for success. But don't sleep on Houston's recent form and defensive muscle. So, my call, a tight face-off with the Bucks just sneaking past the Rockets, but Houston's likely to cover the spread. Expect a lower scoring game, probably staying under 230.5 total points. Wrapping it up, considering current form, injuries, defense skills, and home turf edge, I'm leaning towards the Rockets to beat the plus 7.5 point spread in this tight showdown against the Bucks. The next prediction is for the match between Washington Wizards and Phoenix Suns. In the realm of hoops, the Phoenix Suns are showing some solid balling with a 13-12 record, but they've been a bit shaky on consistency, dropping about 115.4 points a game on a 47.4% field goal shooting while letting opponents snag 114.2 points on a 46.3% clip. Stars like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are on fire, with Durant bagging an average of 30.7 points and Booker notching 28.1. But their defense on the arc is raising eyebrows, allowing 7% from downtown, which puts them 9th in the league for three-point defense. Flipping to the Washington Wizards, they're in a rough patch, sitting at a .420 record. They're lagging, especially on the defensive end, hitting the bottom at 30th in the league for letting opponents rack up points and assists. Still, they've got some scoring chops, averaging 116.8 points per game, with Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole chipping in big. Kuzma has been a standout, projected to drop 24 points, grab 6 boards, and dish out 4 assists this game. Talking pace, the Wizards are blazing, 3rd in the league with 104.0 possessions per game. This could speed up the game's rhythm. The Suns, cruising at 98.2 possessions per game, placing them 27th in the league, might get pulled into a faster game than they're used to. Checking their recent form, the Suns have cooled off, scoring 112.0 points in their last 10 compared to their season average of 115.4. The Wizards, for all their issues, have shown some grit lately, signaling they won't be a walkover for the Suns. On the betting front, the smart money is on the Suns as the favorites. But it's wise to consider the Wizards' scoring punch and quick play style potentially leading to more points than expected. Wrapping up, the Suns look poised for a win, with their overall play and key contributors against the Wizards' defensive woes. But I'm not betting big on Phoenix. They've slipped recently, losing 4 of their last 5, and at home they're just 5-8. Plus, Bradley Beal's out again with an injury. Props to the Wizards, though. They've got a knack for scoring and have covered the spread in half of their recent games. So my bet is on the Washington Wizards to beat the plus 13-point spread. The last prediction for today is for the matchup between Golden State Warriors and Portland Trailblazers. Tonight's action at the Moda Center is a real hoop fest, with the Golden State Warriors holding a record of 11 wins and 14 losses, squaring off against the Portland Trailblazers, who are trying to bounce back from their 6-18 record. The Warriors have been playing a seesaw game recently, alternating wins and losses, while the Trailblazers are desperate to break their 6-game skid. Diving into the Warriors' stats, they're netting an average of 115.5 points per game with a shooting accuracy of 45.1%. But they're also giving up just as many points, with opponents shooting at 46.4%. Stephen Curry is the team's shining star, dropping 28.6 points and dishing out 4.4 assists per game. Klay Thompson and Jonathan Kuminga are also key contributors, with Thompson clocking in an average of 16 points. From beyond the arc, the team is hitting 36.6% of their shots and are solid from the charity stripe with a 78.8% free throw rate, while pulling down 47.3 rebounds per game. Their defense allows a 34.5% shooting rate from downtown. Over at the Trailblazers camp, Anthony Simmons and Jeremy Grant are the go-to guys. Simmons is putting up 24.6 points and grabbing 2 rebounds, while Grant is notching 22.1 points and 3.8 rebounds per game. The Blazers are scoring an average of 106.8 points on a 43.2% shooting efficiency, but their defense is letting through 113.7 points on a 48.6% shooting rate by their opponents. They're shooting 34.6% from three-point range and are steady from the free throw line at 79.5%, snagging 41.1 rebounds per game. Adding to the mix is the recent injury report. The Trailblazers are nearly at full strength, but the Warriors are down a couple of players, missing Gary Payton II due to a calf injury and Draymond Green on suspension. Statistically, the Warriors have the upper hand, especially in rebounding, where they're the league's second best, averaging 47.0 rebounds per game. The Trailblazers, however, are lagging in assists, ranking last in the league with just 22.1 per game. They also struggled in the crucial fourth quarter, scoring the least in the league during this period. Looking at recent matchups, the Warriors have had the upper hand, winning 8 out of the last 10 games against the Trailblazers and beating the spread in 6 of these clashes. Considering the Blazers' current form and defensive woes, the odds seem to favor the Warriors. But considering all the stats, recent forms, past encounters, and injury updates, it looks like the smart money should be on the Warriors. However, the Trailblazers, fully fit and fresh from a narrow loss to the stellar Mavericks, thanks to Luka Doncic's heroics, have a fighting chance, especially on their home turf. My pick? I'm betting on the Trailblazers to beat the plus 5-point spread. All right, hoopheads, that's the buzzer for today's predictions. Big thanks for rolling with us. If you're vibing with our picks, slam that subscribe button and get on board. Catch you on the court tomorrow. Peace.